Welcome to ShrimpZoo and Addy Ads.
What's up, folks? Addy Ads here, Anakin Skywalker.
Wait for a few more people to join. What are you doing? Sitting way far back to the side.
Intro, dude. I'm trying to get out the intro.
They can see it. They can see it. That's Antifa. That's me. Don't talk to me.
Talk to me, I'm ShrimpZoo.
We got merch coming out. Some socks, a mask, and sweatshirts on YouTube. If you guys want to check them out on the ShrimpZoo channel. Got some more designs coming up. Shout out to Steve, Niagara Falls, Ontario. Steve would love to kick some Antifa butt.
Well, there's the opposite of Antifa right there in Germany.
Yeah, we're not really trying to fight Antifa, but we would love if they would not try to fight us every time we see them. We're not really loving police or Antifa. He thinks police is worse. I think Antifa is worse. He's a Republican, and I'm kind of Democratish. Antifa's wild, though. It's not what they're portrayed in the media as. BLM and Antifa, they're super wild on the streets. They're not very friendly to ShrimpZoo. They're mean. We're just trying to cover COVID, protests, but they're not really loving us on the streets. We're gonna talk about the Prius incident. We're gonna talk about COVID, the second or third wave, depending on where you're at. There's some lockdowns coming again as fall approaches. So what else did you want to talk about today?
A lot happening this week. My man ShrimpZoo here at the Shrimp Castle live out of Buffalo, New York. You just saw our intro there. Got a nice beat to it. We don't have to pay for it, so that's very much appreciated. And we got the new Supreme Court Justice nomination. We got fascists showing up at the Reichstag in Germany. As you saw in that video, al-Assad assassination confirmed by Trump by past administration Obama. Just a lot to get to. FBI memos, lots of stuff happening this week. Really an action-packed week. Shrimp and I are enjoying the Saturday nights, and yeah, just a lot going on this week. Assange, least among them. What do you think, Mr. Shrimp? What do we start with?
Let's start with COVID, because I'm a COVID channel first off, I guess. I'll start with COVID, and then I know you like to talk about Assange and that type of stuff. So we'll get into COVID first. I know everybody's saying it's like 96% of the people dying of COVID are dying with pre-existing conditions where they have 2 or 3 things wrong with them. Only 4% are dying of straight COVID, and it's mostly old people. Well, I don't think we could afford to lose everybody over 50 in America, or like 20 or 30% of everyone over 50, and then like half of the people with pre-existing conditions. So I think if we let it go wild and like unchecked, you could have maybe a few million people die by then this year. There's over 200,000 people right now with it that have died. I think there'll be like 500,000 people by the end of the year, around there. They'll be dead of COVID. There's a second wave going around, basically, they're saying right now in America. And in Europe, it's like the second or third wave.
So about the death rate, I actually just read this tonight. I want to push back on that a little bit there, Shrimp. So deaths involving pneumonia, this is on the CDC website, with or without COVID-19 is 193,845. So pneumonia is really the baseline for the number that they're drawing up. That's how I see it. I mean, yes, combined pneumonia deaths and COVID deaths, you get 200,000 people about. But,
Well, how many people do you think have died from it then?
well, if we're talking just for sure COVID, the number that I recall seeing was 86,000, about 86 to 89,000, somewhere in there. Whereas this is 193,845 off the CDC website, and that's pneumonia with or without COVID 19. And I gotta say, so Steve was saying the death rate in Europe is much higher than the West. I agree. I think they had the stronger strain of virus.
There's really no. We're just gonna have to take the numbers that any of the experts are giving us, because nobody's gonna be able to go count 200,000 or 80,000 or 90,000 dead bodies. We're gonna have to take the numbers that
just round up to the nearest 100,000. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah. I have no idea. I'm just taking the numbers that are said in the media, and
yeah, man, that's what I read on the CDC website. That's all I read. You know,
yeah.
CDC. You can go and check it out yourself, people. I'll try to link it in the comments.
You think under 100,000?
I don't know, man. These people could be lying too.
Sure.
This stat might be false. How do we know anything is real?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't trust them, really, to be honest. I'm just repeating what the official numbers are, but I started my channel saying that they're lying and we're underreporting it. I'm sure that they're under or over-reporting it depending on which state and which circumstance, what's hospital. Like, there's a number of factors that could go into it. I don't really believe the official numbers. There's just no way for me to really know exactly how many people have died of it.
Yeah. What about your experience in the hospital here? Because that's kind of where you came up out of COVID. What do you remember about that? That maybe you could extrapolate to the nation or not?
The hospital where my ex worked at?
Yeah, whatever your source was. I don't even know.
Yeah, and my friend works at a hospital right now. I just asked him. He said there's only like 3 people in the ICU with COVID right now. But New York City's still in phase 3 lockdown. The official numbers say like 800 people here have died in Western New York. I know, like, one of my kids' teachers died, and like one of my sister's friends died of it, but nobody that I really know and see on a daily basis has died or gotten it.
Yeah, I met somebody recently, actually the mother of a childhood friend I had, believe it or not. We just randomly met by happenstance. Her uncle died from it, she told me.
That's crazy.
So,
choose.
Oh yeah, whoops.
Technical error.
Resuming now. Thanks for joining in, people. It's Saturday. It's the 25th of September, 2020.
Steve says Florida's lifting restrictions. Yeah, Florida's lifting restrictions, and their numbers are probably going up, but that's how all Republican places are gonna act, basically. All the Republican places are gonna lift restrictions, and they'll pay for it later, I guess. But what are you gonna do? My personal belief is COVID's gonna be around for like my entire lifetime, and probably like hundreds of years. Just like they keep saying, like you keep like reading these Atlantic articles and these articles in the news of like, Alexa, turn bedroom lights red. You keep reading these news articles that are like, oh, it's going to go back to normal 2021, 2022. Dude, it's never going back to normal. It's so stupid. It's like talking about AIDS being gone next year, or like the regular flu being gone by 2022. Yeah. This thing is it's not going away ever.
Yeah, I think the bioweapons are here to stay. they're just too useful. They're like a low intensity warfare
Well, it's like how do you
weapon.
get rid of a flu that spreads in the air that goes around constantly? And
It's
like
very highly contagious. There's no doubt about it.
Doesn't kill that many people and it spreads rapidly and easily. So
it's death by 1,000 cuts is what it really is when you talk about a boxing metaphor.
It's like economic warfare, the virus.
Yeah, I mean, in many sectors, it injures, but not just, both acutely and chronically. When you're talking short-term and long-term injury, which arguably, is, a debate in and of itself, which is worse. But I think you reach a certain point in the long term where there's no doubt that the long-term injury is worse. And that's what I was saying way back in March. There's no halfway pregnant on this thing if you want to go the Japan route or Taiwan, which I think I did a better job. New Zealand, places like this, where they just did not let people into the country, and we just couldn't do that. It was politically incorrect to do so. Whoever you want to blame, it was just the culture that we live in. I don't think it's any one person's fault necessarily, but we didn't want to shut the borders down, and because of that, we are paying very dearly.
I think we just should have shut the borders down like back in February or whenever it was.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have had to do anything right now. We could have kept everything open right now if we shut it down earlier.
I think the virus came into Italy via Linares Airport in Milan on the 30th of January. I left Italy 2 days before on the 28th. So arguably, if we would have done it before the 28th, probably before, right? Depending on what flights were coming. So before the 30th, of January, that was probably the deadline, the hard deadline.
It wasn't the political will to do it though.
Yeah.
At that point, we were not everybody, but like a majority of people were watching it with like a lot of attention. It was all over the media at that point. We could have closed it down, but
we had a chance. We did have a chance. We squandered it, and because of that, in chess, it's called a blunder. It's where you can basically you can get checkmated in a matter of a move.
Carl Jung says that Biden called Trump racist for closing the borders. He called them xenophobic for shutting down the borders to like Italy and China and stuff at the time. But
even when people's lives are on the line, this is how they behave.
Turns out that was the right decision overall. So
what do you think about them? Maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't care if we die from the virus, and that fueled the decision making.
I don't think China cares how many people they died. I think China lied about the numbers. China may have had 80,000 people die of this. We don't really know.
What did they say their official number was? Do you remember?
Yeah, look it up.
It's probably less than 80,000, but regardless, whoever was the decision maker,
we got nearly 1 million deaths worldwide, and nearly 24 million people recovered. The official death rate is 4% worldwide.
Yeah, I don't think it's a lung disease. I do think it's a blood disease from what I've read. This is my dilettante opinion, people, so keep that in mind. But it seems to be a blood disease that affects the oxygen saturation ability of the body, not so much as your ability to physically draw in air into your lungs, which is why I think the ventilators was a really bad idea when they should have just given them pure oxygen. I actually came to this opinion pretty early. I don't even know if anybody that I was speaking to personally talked about it. I know Dr. Paul Cottrell and I were talking a lot during that time period. So I probably mentioned it to him, and I'm sure we discussed it at some point. But I think they should have just given really high, just pure oxygen to breathe in constantly, along with, of course, an IV drip and vitamins, really. Here's hydroxychloroquine.
Here's China. They had 4,634 deaths.
Yeah, right. Get out of here. You said 4,000?
Yeah, 4,634
Oh, my
deaths.
goodness. They think we're very unintelligent.
And we have over, let's see the official number we're at. Does it say on here?
4,000 deaths in a country of over 3 billion.
We're at 209,177
Right.
deaths.
Dude, if it's 1%, 1% of 1.3 billion, that's it's a big number. I don't even. That's at least 1.3 million, isn't it? 100. No, that's extrapolated, so that's like 10x. That's like 10.3 billion, or million.
Let's watch the Prius video. Have you watched this yet?
I don't think I might have seen it once. I think I saw it on Twitter.
I mean, I think you're gonna say that the Prius is innocent, but let's watch it. I think that's what you'll say, but maybe you won't. So that's the Prius. They didn't run anyone over, but they just went through the crowd there of BLM/Antifa members, and it's a Prius, so I doubt they're like raging like mega supporter, you know?
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking about. It's a Prius.
More than likely not.
It's like a Prius. They're probably not like super like white.
Yeah, they probably live in Madison, Wisconsin. Yeah. Where is this, by the way? I'm sure this didn't happen in Madison.
Let's see where this is. I'm not sure. I feel like this is in California and LA or something.
Thanks for tuning in, people.
So they get away from the people, from the protesters, BLM and Antifa, but in the background, there's a truck full of the rioters that chases them down.
Yeah, wonderful.
Like running red lights and stuff. They go right in front of them and then get out.
This white driver doesn't know what he's doing, this white car driver.
Yeah. Because if that was you would have gotten out of it.
I would have stopped. What is he doing?
Exactly. You can tell they're not trying to hurt the people, right?
They just collided with another car that was also part of the demonstration.
I mean, they also didn't really collide with that car. That car kind of drove up behind them.
And you see that one person using what looks like a flag, perhaps a skateboard there, to damage this Prius. And now the driver is able to
smash the window.
I love how they call them demonstrators. That's not demonstrating anything, you know? And then they get arrested. The Prius driver gets arrested.
For what? Is it related?
He gets arrested for fleeing from the mob. I don't know.
It happened right after this?
Yeah. The rioters, Antifa and BLM called the police on them.
Oh my goodness, dude. It's just a clown world. Clown universe, man. I didn't even know what to say about that. That is ludicrous. But the dude in the white should not have stopped. He should have kept driving. I don't know what he was thinking.
It's like you can't win.
You can't reason with those people.
Don't drive downtown if you like.
That is not going to happen.
Ridiculous. What?
I was reading the comments.
Those cops are useless, arresting self-defenders.
Yeah,
I mean, he wasn't even defending himself. He was fleeing the scene politely.
You know what I think? I think they're trying to encourage a culture of collaboration.
You can see how the Prius stopped because he didn't want to hit any of the other cars or hit anybody. You can tell he wasn't trying to hit anybody. He was just trying to get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
that's how I'm thinking.
I think
not even like it's just people make it into like politics.
What I think they're doing. I think the police state is trying to create a culture of collaboration with the police, where there's 8 to 10x in number of informants per beat cops.
We need somebody to Photoshop this video where it makes it look like all the rioters are mega fans, and they can put like red shirts on them and red hats on them, and then show it to people and see what they think.
Yeah, I'm sure they believe it right away, right? No,
just like this is complete chaos in the streets, though. Do you want to watch some more riot videos that happened over the last day?
Yeah, bring it up, man. Yeah, let's do it. But yeah, I was just saying, I think they're trying to create a culture of collaborating with police, culture of traitors.
Yeah, so it's just this is every day, and like few dozen cities in America. A lot of people are super naive still, and they're like, "Oh, this hasn't happened here." Okay, well, wait a few weeks till somebody gets shot there, and then it does happen there. You know how many Breonna Taylors there's gonna be by over like the next year? It's gonna be like 3 dozen. Anytime anybody dies now that's not white, it's like extreme attention's gonna be placed on that. We had a riot before when one person just committed suicide. It's gonna look at this one. Antifa stepping their game up. Molotov cocktail, police got him. I love how Antifa's screaming.
Where was that? That was in Oregon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to follow the Oregonian. Back when I lived in Eugene, I have a video of a Eugene protest on my channel. If anybody wants to check it out. It definitely wasn't like the BLM protests we went to this week. Very rude people that we engaged with at the Black Lives Matter protest. There's just no getting around it. We have video of it. They were unruly, unreasonable.
Well, it's stupid because
they threw water in our faces after they asked to
and we
such
both
that
and we both
Shrimp turned off his phone.
we both think that the Breonna Taylor case was like she shouldn't have been shot too.
Yeah,
And
I mean, we're
Breonna
both
Taylor,
very critical of the police. Very critical.
It was a Breonna Taylor protest, and we both like support Breonna Taylor or whatever.
But it wasn't good enough for these people.
They're so stupid.
But it wasn't good enough.
No, we both support Breonna Taylor, and it's like white people throwing water in their faces. Protesters are idiots.
Yeah, the black boys were listening to the overweight Caucasian females.
Well, all the older black
20s.
people at the protest were cool because
they were chill, dude.
We were standing. We had to stand near the black people for like safety because the white people there were wiling out. We were standing near the older black people there.
Yeah, the older black people were quite calm. We sat near them and
just like
stood near them.
Teenagers.
Yeah, the white girls, the overweight white girls, and the black boys. They're just listening to what the white girls were saying. Being slaves, in my opinion, to the white.
It's a lot of just the youth. A lot of people like teenagers, young adults.
What is going on here?
This is the same
it's
Prius
the same
incident.
one. Okay.
Yeah, you can see where they're just smashing the car up with the poles, and they smash it with
you saying something about the youth though?
Well, this is the youth. This is all youth. This is all like 20-year-olds and teenagers.
Yeah.
The protesters that we're seeing, and like
they're young.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
we did see
there was a photographer there.
We saw 3 dudes before downtown protesting ICE, and we talked to them like super like nice, and that was fine. Everything they told us what the protest was. Those dudes, so we can't say they're all bad, but
yeah, they're older white gentlemen.
I don't think
much.
Lady. I don't know.
Oh yeah, there was a lady.
I don't think they were BLM, but I don't know if they were or not. But I mean, they were nice. We seen BLM like hipsters before.
He had the flag, didn't he? He had the flag.
Oh well,
one of them did.
Well, they were cool.
Yeah,
I don't know
cool.
how they would be in a mob.
I only saw the one guy there. There was like 3 guys and a girl, right?
Like we've talked to Antifa like by themselves and they're nice, but anytime they're in a group, they're mean. Yeah,
it just turns into pack mentality, wolves, just pouncing, man. But you guys can check out kind of more of our videos on the protests we went to this week. But let's move on to current events. I just wanted to talk about Department of Justice. In many ways, let's go, I guess, to the Supreme Court first and foremost. We have Donald J. Trump appointing Amy Coney Barrett, a mother of 7 children, who is basically batter up to possibly get the confirmation into the Supreme Court justice until the day she dies. She will have that job. What do you think about that? Do you think she should have that sort of immunity from getting fired?
It's kind of weird that people have jobs till they die. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't agree with this. But what are we looking at here, Shrimp?
Molotov cocktails and damage to downtown Portland.
Yeah.
just rioting.
It's just
over the
America.
over the last couple of days. Breonna Taylor. This is basically going to be like a weather news station now, but for riots. I would probably expect a lot of fires in downtown Portland, California, Buffalo, Rochester, Louisville, Chicago. I would probably be
Let's talk
expecting
about Louisville.
fires and rioting over the next week, and then this will
Yeah.
probably die down until somebody else is shot by the police, and then it'll pick back up again.
And earlier this week, ShrimpZoo made a great point about Rochester. Actually, it was last week. How many people got shot?
Last week, 16 people got shot and 2 died. And the same night, Buffalo, 5 people got shot and 1 died.
And he just said like that was just a blip in the news, and
yeah, that was like
that's
story.
2020 for you. Though.
Nobody watching this probably even heard that. But that was 20 people to get shot here.
That's insane. But Louisville.
In one night.
Before we go to Louisville, let's finish on Amy Coney Barrett.
20 shootings a night.
7 kids. Do you think that has feminists?
Yeah, I was
angry.
I saw that actually. I saw they mentioned that. I read the liberal news like MSNBC. I like to read CNN. I noticed on CNN they didn't say anything bad about her, so I'll take that good, I guess. But yeah, I didn't see anything bad about her in the news, really. Did you?
I did not.
Why are you going so close here?
Should I? Oh my goodness.
I can go even closer.
I was just hitting the comments.
You're hogging the screen.
Should we start hitting the comments on? Let's start putting the comments on. We've been focused here, people.
Jenny
really
Simmons, we're going to read your comment. Simon. Hell no, there should be age limits due to cognitive decline. I agree. Certain politicians do seem to have cognitive decline that are running for president right now.
And Todd agrees. Look at that. I'm getting good at that.
Yeah, no career politicians is what Todd Hitchcock is saying. I agree.
What do you think of his decision? So it's a white woman. She's a mother. She's still somewhat young, I think. I don't know how she looked. I mean, she looks pretty good for whatever age.
I just read like an MSNBC and CNN article about it. They didn't say anything bad about her, so I figure since she's Republican and they're Democrat, they probably would. They didn't say anything bad about her, so I mean, I don't know anything bad about her, so I guess it's fine. They're replacing a woman with a woman.
I don't think it would have been a good decision politically to choose a man.
No, I don't think so for either side.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like Republicans and Democrats held the person she's replacing in like very high esteem.
Yeah, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah. So hopefully she's a good choice, I guess. I just don't think this really affects me. I know it bugs a lot of people. I don't really see it bugging me. I don't really know what these people are doing. Do you think she's going into the office every day? She's probably making hell of money too.
Well, if she gets appointed or right now, she probably is making a lot of money right now too.
It seems like the only major things. Quit putting your finger in there.
Well, I just changed the comment.
Yeah, but look how I can do it, and my finger's not in there. They don't want to see your finger, dude.
Oh my goodness! I gotta sneak up here, guys. The last time the camera was on this side. What were we talking about?
Read this comment. I saw in the news today that it was a total of 104 protesters have already been run over. That's pretty crazy.
That's a lot of road
I believe
splatter.
it.
Yeah. In Halo 3, if you get 10 kills in a row via vehicular via like a kill via in a vehicle, you get something called vehicular manslaughter.
Yeah, I mean, that's the new Civil War. People getting run over by pickup trucks.
We have a dissenting opinion here from Carl Jung. Ruth Vader. Darth Vader Ginsburg is no hero except for Planned
What does that mean?
Oh, well, Margaret Sanger
What did she do?
was actually the founder of Planned Parenthood, along with, wait for it, Bill Gates' father. Some of you probably knew that already, but we're learning here, people.
I mean, I don't have a problem with Planned Parenthood. I've dated girls. They go there, and like you go there and get birth control and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Condoms. I don't know.
I think it's a good idea.
I don't
but
know what the problem is, but you can go there and get like stuff like that.
I've read
Useful.
actually in this book right here, and I wanted to bring this up here, people.
You get tested for STDs and stuff there, can't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I read in this book that Margaret Sanger is a eugenicist.
Somebody says I'm O negative and I had COVID in April. Yeah. Some scientists believe that it might be harder to get COVID depending on your blood type, or it might be less severe. Steven Robertson says, "Where's the bald guy?"
See, Jules knows what I'm talking about. Run the Jules. But this book, I read that Margaret Sanger was apparently into eugenics along with Bill Gates' father. This book is The Octopus of Global Control by Charlie Robinson, author, currently based out of Colorado. He's originally from South California. I interviewed on my channel if people want to check it out, but amazing book. I just wanted to share a little bit from this, if that's okay with people. Lots to learn from here, people. Just learning about, I think the characters is really important, like who these power players are. We got John Bolton, former UN representative and Undersecretary of State for Arms Control and International Security. I do not like John Bolton.
I kind of like him a little bit.
Former senior advisor,
like
President
mustache.
Bush, and a senior vice president, AEI. We have Louis Scooter Libby, former chief of staff for Vice President Dick Cheney, and lawyer for convicted felon and Israeli spy Mark Rich.
Somebody says Shrimp has a gun
whom
fetish.
Clinton pardoned.
I do.
Libby was found guilty of lying to federal investigators in the Valerie Plume affair, which they actually made a movie about, believe it or not.
Somebody says Planned Parenthood is evil and racist, kills more black babies.
That exposed, that was actually what I read too, is that she was racist against blacks.
I think I've heard that.
Exposed the political revenge by the Bush administration following her husband's revelations about the lies leading to the Iraq War. The neocons brought us there. Scooter Libby was one of them. Also, Paul Wolfowitz as well. Michael Chertoff. Who's Michael Chertoff? Richard Pearl. Chertoff, former assistant attorney general for the criminal division at the Justice Department, was head of DHS. Chertoff owns a company that sells full body scanners to all airports. In related news, again, that's The Octopus of Global Control by Charlie Robinson. In related news, the DHS, current head of DHS.
Somebody said John Bolton is the Monopoly board guy.
Current head of DHS, I forget his name.
Funny.
He said that the biggest threat to security in Portland are racist white supremacists.
Yeah, but do you believe that? Is that the
Chad Wolf is his name. Chad Wolf.
Do you believe
acting Secretary of the Federal Department of Homeland Security has stated that the most persistent and lethal domestic threat to this country,
I mean, maybe they
in Portland,
know something we don't know,
is white supremacists.
No, because I mean, so they had like the mega rally there today, and not that many people showed up for Proud Boys in Portland. They said they were expecting 10,000. It looks like maybe like 1,000 or something at most showed up, and there really was no violence. I don't know. I think Antifa and BLM, like factions of, not all BLM, but there's a certain part of the protesters that are doing fires and rioting and stuff, looting. So
I don't buy it at all. I think it's either a red herring or it's a red herring in some way.
It's a conspiracy.
It's trolls. It's
reptilians.
It's
grays.
propaganda. This is Smith Munt, people. Smith Munt. MUNDT. They can do this to you. This is propaganda. They will do this to you, for you, and by you. At least that's what they'll tell you.
George Soros is paying off all the reptilians, and then they're going off and giving it to all the BLM supporters, and the UFOs are overhead. making sure they're protesting. It's a George Soros conspiracy involving reptilian aliens.
It goes deep. The swamp runs deep. It really does. The polls are fixed. The police are owned. Shrimp is in the house. We are at the Shrimp Castle here.
Politicians definitely influence the police. Like, it's not just Republicans. Look at de Blasio in New York City. He's controlling the police.
Jill Schonlieber. That definitely sounds German. Margaret Sanger was a eugenicist, and there are multiple photos of her speaking with the KKK airing behind her while speaking. Her goal was to downsize blacks in America.
Well, she sounds like a bad person then.
Carl Young, Supreme Court is going to be conservative for 50 years. That is not a bad estimate.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's...
I don't know about that.
I mean, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she died. She's no longer with us. She was buried in state.
I mean, I saw like a chart of the average age, like 1880 or whatever. The average age for one of the judges was like 50, and now it's like 70 or something. They need to get somewhere.
Dude, the average age of all of our politicians has gone way up. It just keeps going up because they're still in power.
Get them younger
That's
a little
the
bit.
way it works.
We need like all spectrum of ages in there.
They need to get COVID.
Well, imagine, do you think Trump's going to get COVID? Do you think he's going to go the rest of this term plus another term if he gets reelected without getting COVID? Do you think he's going to go over 4 more years without getting it? Especially since he doesn't wear a mask.
Wasn't he taking HCl as a prophylactic? I thought I read that earlier this summer.
Yeah, but nobody really knows if that really works or not. I wouldn't really trust anyone that says it works because there's so many people that say it doesn't. So that's why I've never got into it, because just one study says it doesn't work, one study says it does.
I think it does. We have a paper from the Fauci Bost NIH 2005 study says it works. HCl works against SARS-like viruses. We have testimony from frontline doctors and nurses who say it works. I'm going to take their word. I'm going to take academia's word over some little Italian man.
China's not using it.
China
Russia's not
is
using
lying
it
to
either.
all of us, my friend. They said they have 4,000 deaths for their whole country. You believe that?
No, I don't believe that.
Don't forget your vitamin
America,
D3, and don't forget vitamin K2 to absorb your zinc. You get that from butter,
you don't
among other
take it.
things. I do not have been eating butter recently. I've been cooking with olive oil.
I take vitamin D3. End of live stream. Just joking. It's not that. We'll keep going for 10 more minutes.
You can also get in vitamins, but butter is probably the easiest way for people to get it. But yes, I have been cooking in olive oil this whole week.
Well, should we tell them? I don't eat butter.
Oh.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Shrimp?
I don't know. I guess I'm short on that vitamin then, because I'm not getting it from the butter.
You can also get it from dark leafy greens as well.
Those are gross.
I think I don't know if it's in tomatoes or not, but tomatoes are good for you. Cat's Eye View says that zinc does not work as a preventative. It doesn't hurt though, people. I mean, when I get the flu, I just down vitamin C like a mofo, man. I drink like those vitamin C electrolyte packets.
Peak
It
Prosperity.
really helps.
Peak Prosperity was like saying that zinc worked really good or something.
Did he get it?
Well, he was like promoting zinc and stuff. What do you think about Peak Prosperity?
I've heard of him, and I've heard somebody else tell me about him, but I'm not really familiar with his work. But
I was not really gonna say anything. I did a video on their channel before.
moving on, folks. FBI memos, big FBI memos related to the Steele dossier from Christopher Steele, who I was shocked to find out he's MI5 or MI6. He doesn't even work for our government. He works for the United Kingdom. He's subject to the Queen, Queen Elizabeth. How is she still alive? Nobody knows. Is she a devil? I don't know. The Steele dossier. Apparently the main source for Christopher Steele was a Russian agent. Moreover, there is evidence, memos of text, and I'll read them off, at least a portion of it.
Read them all off.
Okay, and they're talking about Operation Crossfire Hurricane as well. We all went and purchased professional liability insurance. Holy crap. All the analysts too? Yep. All the folks at the agency as well. Doing all this election research, man. I think some of these guys want a Clinton presidency.
Shout out Josh H.
They seem to respect that they know what they're going to get. Haha, really, man? Instead of a wild card like Trump. So, in anticipation of Trump's
Was Trump the wild card?
inauguration, oh, he's definitely the wild card.
For me, he's not the wild card. I feel like Biden is the wild card because we already know what Trump has done for 4 years and what he'll do again, probably.
They got liability insurance, though.
Biden's more unpredictable to me because you don't know if the stock market will crash under him. You're not sure what levels of lockdowns will happen. You're not sure if the protests will continue with him or they'll end. Like, there would be a really good case for electing Biden if the protests ended.
Before we get to Biden, I want to talk about these memos. These FBI memos that prove the Steele dossier, which they used to try to make Trump look complicit with collusion with the Russians. Well, the DNC and all these people, they're right. The Russians were involved in the Steele dossier itself. They weren't involved with Donald Trump.
But I just think the Russians do what every other country does and what we do. They just mess around on social media. I don't think they're trying to like seriously mess with the elections that much, but they probably have like some stupid spy program or whatever. But
I bet you Putin's laughing.
We probably do too, though. We probably have the same things that the Russian and Chinese spy programs have. We're probably interfering in their stuff too, stealing their.
Oh, I'm sure we are. I'm sure we are. I believe you on that. I agree with you.
I bet we have like the best like spy and like cyber program that there is.
What's that?
I don't know, whatever it is they do.
Oh.
Stealing like Huawei trade secrets or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't think we do that?
I think we do that. I don't think we don't do that, but you have heard, instances of operations where they leak the quote unquote best type or prototype of a technology when in reality it's not the best, and then the Chinese or the Russians get it and they think it's the best. But you mentioned Joe Biden. I don't trust whoever's controlling Biden. I trust
You don't
Trump
think it's Kamala Harris?
slightly more. Maybe a better way to put it is I trust Biden. Almost non-existent is my trust for Joe Biden.
Did you hear?
Or Kamala Harris.
Did you hear what Kamala Harris said when somebody asked her who is her favorite rapper alive?
I don't trust any of them.
She said they asked her who like the greatest rapper alive was, and she said Tupac.
No, she also said I think it was the Breakfast Club, Power 105 New York's The Breakfast Club, one of the biggest hip-hop radio shows in the nation. I used to listen to it all the time in college. They interviewed Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris said that while she was in college...
Is that the show Charlamagne is on?
Yes.
Did
she listened to Tupac and Biggie Smalls. What did she say? Tupac and Dr. Dre, I think she said.
I doubt it.
Neither of which had released their first albums yet.
Yeah, I doubt it because she said Tupac was still alive in an interview recently.
This is Kamala Harris trying to be hip and cool. And then she walks off a private jet in Converse. That is disgusting, dude. Come on. What are you doing, girl? At least wear lifts or dress shoes. But you wear sneakers? Are you trying to be a dick?
I like Bernie Sanders or Andrew Yang better than Joe Biden. I'm not really.
Oh, I just did it again. Sorry, guys.
I'm not really a fan of Joe Biden or the Clintons for Democrats. To vote Democrat out, they'll have to put in a better Democrat for me.
Who would that be? You've talked about
Yang.
Andrew Yang.
Yang.
Is that because you're Asian? Is that why? Are you racist?
Yeah, I'm only gonna vote for people that are Asian. For
Why are you racist?
I'll vote for Yang. I like Yang. Or I didn't think Obama was that bad. I thought he was about the same as George Bush.
Hunter's a gigolo.
I like Bernie Sanders, but I don't really like him that much anymore. So I guess just Yang. Or I'd vote for a libertarian. Maybe Rand Paul.
I mean, I just don't trust anyone coming out of the DNC.
Mitt Romney seems okay, but I've heard him say a lot of bad stuff.
Medium rare or well done. I want him fried, the deep steak. Protecting chivalry, FBI, CIA, NSA, deep state.
The deep state. Addy loves to talk about the deep state.
Speaking of the deep state, FBI has arrested 2 Americans for plotting quote-unquote Netflix-worthy attacks. Christopher Sean Matthews, otherwise known as Ali Jibril, and Jalen Christopher Molina, otherwise known as Abdur Rahim. This happened in Tennessee. Apparently, they were planning out attacks at buildings like the Trump Tower and or a Capitol building. They got caught.
FJC says, "OMG, are you serious? Trump is the biggest dick of all time." He likes Trump. I'm not really into Trump. I like Trump as much as I like Biden, which is
Oh, come on, man.
I don't
You
really
serious?
well, Joe Biden is probably about to die, so Trump has that over him. Trump isn't like demented; he still has his brain. Joe Biden has like lost it.
Yeah, Joe Biden is going to die soon. Probably they're probably going to do.
If you
it's
could
like in
put,
Harry Potter. When
if you could put Joe Biden in a time machine and put him back like 20 years ago, then I would vote for him. First Trump.
Look at this. Bernie's like the old grandpa that smoked.
Well, yeah, I said I used to like Bernie, but I don't really like him that much anymore. I'm not really a Bernie fan anymore. But I do like Yang.
Oh, we got Douglas D talking about Pompeo and Assange. This is something I have been covering all week. The Julian Assange trial happening at the Old Bailey in London, United Kingdom. Lot of media suppression on this topic. Australia is not covering it at all. I'm not even seeing barely any journalists in the alternative media covering this either. This is journalism on trial. The truth is hanging in the balance. Julian Assange is the chosen one. He could have sold out his ideals for a pardon from Trump, and he chose not to because he believes, I think,
they're saying in the media
that he will be exonerated,
the White House
vindicated,
offered him a plea deal,
pardoned,
but he refused.
Commuted, clemency, all those words will happen.
He's less of a snitch than 6ix9ine is.
6ix9ine is a snitch.
Isn't that weird?
No doubt. 6ix9ine is a
Tekashi
snitch.
6ix9ine is a bigger snitch than Julian Assange. That's weird.
That's not weird. That's not weird at all.
I guess it makes sense.
And Julian Assange represents an idea.
Let's read Jenny Simmons' comment.
SARS-1 could infect livestock and infect people who ate undercooked meat or didn't wash their hands well enough. Open wound on hands, hangnail infection route.
I think so, but I mean, if you're gonna worry about a hangnail, that's super extreme. But yeah, like it went back to a market in Beijing through salmon. So
Trump wants to win without being JFK.
Can infect animals or can like take a ride on frozen seafood and stuff. Apparently,
that is, I think, an insightful comment there because
Trump wants to win.
That's a question I've asked. Why hasn't he been assassinated yet?
because that's like a conspiracy theory, and that's probably not really going to happen. But he does.
Until it does.
He does like this. Well, like, how do we get this better?
Should I move closer?
No, that's good. We got it. We got this. Yeah, he's not gonna be assassinated because that's like conspiracy theory stuff. You and Deborah are conspiracy theorists. He's not gonna get assassinated. That's not gonna happen.
Only Assange, who put the truth out there, is in jail. None of the warlords
27 attempts, says
are
Deborah.
in jail
Is
at
that true?
all.
Has there been 27 attempts on Trump's?
I cannot speak to that. I actually don't know.
Like super weak attempts. Like I guess this Ricin attempt, but that was like
That happened just by us here in Buffalo, New York. We covered it this week as well. Peace Bridge, attempted trafficking of oneself, auto trafficking, literally in a car, I'm sure. So double entendre there, people. I got bars, but you know who else has got bars is this lady. Her name is Pascal Ferrier. She's behind bars, and she's French. She got arrested earlier this year in Tennessee for having an expired visa and for carrying a weapon unlawfully.
Well, do you think? So, what do you think? Is she a spy or she's just like out of her mind?
I think she's both. Perhaps she made it. Maybe she's an MK Ultra French edition. Obviously, she's not in the Five Eyes. If she's French,
I'm getting dissed in the
Five
comments.
Eyes is.
Someone says, "I think CNN is real news." I think CNN is about on par with what Fox News is being real. They're both equally fair and balanced.
Yeah.
Don Lemon is horrible. I can't stand Don
Dude,
Lemon.
Fox News. Tucker Carlson speaks the truth.
I like
sometimes.
Tucker Carlson like 70 to 80% of the time.
He speaks the truth sometimes.
I like watching CNN for like hurricanes and natural disasters. They cover like when those planes go missing. CNN has got like the illest graphics for when those planes go missing and the hurricanes. They cover it way better than Fox News.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fox News, there's a like one or two people on there is okay. CNN, I can't really say anyone that's okay on CNN, but I like their like weather coverage.
I actually don't. I can't bring myself to watch it. Maybe I should try to do that.
I do it all. Like
I try, dude. I've watched it so much my entire childhood, dude.
I read Al Jazeera, then I read like the Jerusalem Post.
Were you watching CNN when you were a child? Was that?
I don't agree with CNN or Fox News. I can tell that they're both like politically biased.
Oh yeah, I don't really like Sean Hannity that much. I think Tucker is a bootlicker. He likes the cops way too much.
I enjoy watching Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, he's mostly right. He's way wrong about cops. He's Fox, so he has to just suck up to the cops. But
I like to read all different news, not just one.
Yeah, and I've been adding new
That's how you get brainwashed.
news sources. If people want to say who what kind of drives here Hannity's inbreed look at the head, it looks odd shaped.
Oh yeah, I do not like Hannity. Is that what they're talking about when they say Hannity?
Yeah,
Sean Hannity. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Sean Hannity. Sorry, guys.
Seeing Fox News media outlet, not the answers, and the solution are very critical.
Yeah, I do like The Hill. That's like the biggest mainstream one I like.
Yeah, The Hill is decent.
As far as American news.
Yeah.
Because they have a Republican and a Democrat on, so they have two different.
Yeah, the woman is like a Democrat, and the guy's Republican, right? The Indian American guy.
I like RT sometimes, Al Jazeera. I like a lot of different news.
Yeah, RT is pretty accurate. Well, what are the sources you guys like?
Well, there's tons. RT has tons of propaganda.
Oh yeah,
like
you can spot it a mile away though. You can spot it a mile away.
I watch like the official what is it, CGT TV, the Chinese outlet too. I watch WION, WION, the India News Network.
Yeah, what sources? We want to know. What do you guys like to listen to?
Ooh, she says Mika Brzezinski, CNN, straight up CIA.
What do the listeners? What sources do they like? Where do you go for your news? Do you go to Twitter? I love going to Twitter. Two.
They're saying right here, the Atlantis report.
Epic
Downers, like,
Economists.
I don't even know what any of that is.
I haven't heard of any of that.
That sounds like that's
I mean, I know what
like,
the Economist is, but Epic Economist, I don't know what that is.
the
Oh.
Epic Times. I like that.
Isn't it Epoch?
Is it? I don't know. It probably is.
Alex Jones?
I'm not gonna say your last name, Joe, because I'll get that wrong.
Show and leader.
I like
She
to
was
watch
listening
Alex
earlier.
Jones because I think it's funny, not because I agree with him. But I'd love to have him back on YouTube, Alex Jones.
Have you seen 13 Hours? I think I asked you this already, actually. The film.
No.
Really good. It's about the death of Ambassador Christopher Stevens, the Battle of the Siege of Benghazi, when it's not really a siege. It was just an attack on the embassy, really. And they actually, in Call of Duty, they did a video game level based on the embassy attack. It was actually a really fun level to play that game.
Deborah says,
I
OAN.
watch OAN, yeah.
See, I like OAN better than Fox News.
Graham Ledger and Liz Wheeler.
What do you think? Is OAN better than Fox? I think it is.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right?
For
I
sure.
think it is. See, I can watch all different type of news. Ooh, Jenny says the Epoch Times CIA. Really? Why would you say that, Jenny?
Maybe she knows something we
Explain
don't.
yourself, Jenny. Explain yourself. Why would you say that? That's interesting because they're like a kind of a smaller YouTube channel type deal.
I actually don't know. Don't know.
Yeah, they're.
Sorry,
Should I
guys.
want me to bring them up for you?
Sure.
You might know.
Maybe I know. I don't know.
Let's get into this.
What do we got going on here, people? Silver report on
I
Clutch
guarantee
18,
you've seen like their
Bold
commercials.
You guys like Alex Jones?
Now we got a lot of Alex Jones people. I've been told that I'm like the Democrat version of Alex Jones.
That's funny.
I like Alex Jones for entertainment because it's funny. I don't really agree with him on almost anything, but I'm also not going to cry watching him on YouTube. I think he should be on YouTube because it's freedom of speech, and he's got some fun. After this, let's watch a few funny Alex Jones clips.
Yeah. I like his cartoons they do with the JRE, Joe Rogan cartoons.
This is the Epoch
Mockingbird Media. I've actually never heard of that.
No, this is the Epoch Times. Did Jenny say why they were CIA?
Pompeo said no.
Ice Age Farmers, fantastic. It's interesting. I watch it from time to time.
I don't know. I need to learn, man.
So this is the Epoch Times.
They criticize
You've never seen it?
CP for doing the same shit.
You never seen this? It's
Negative.
good. I thought it was good till Jenny just said it's CIA. Ooh, and Deborah's slamming it too? Wow. Dang. They criticize CCP for doing the same. Ooh, Jenny's be swearing in here. S word, CIA does. Never criticize CIA. Okay. Now Jenny's giving her dog a bath. Or is that like a metaphor? I'm not getting.
All three-letter agencies. Maybe she literally means that she's giving her dog a bath while listening to us. I don't know.
Alright, nobody likes
Maybe
the
she's
Epoch
CIA.
Times, I guess. Nobody likes this channel.
Al-Assad assassination attempt confirmed by Trump, as we said earlier. I just want to talk a little bit more about Julian Assange, though. Julian
I
Assange.
like Al-Assad kind of though.
I
don't think he should be killed because it'll be
Al-Assad,
a
the more I read about him, the more I sympathize with him. I'm not gonna lie. The more I see his fall as bad for the country. That being said, I would like to read more about Al-Assad.
He protects Christians and ethnic minorities, Yazidis, and to an extent the Kurds.
I think Gaddafi's overthrow has caused a mass exodus of migration illegally to Europe, and the fall of Libya in a sense of a standard civilized or growing civilized society as we know it. Huge step backs for the North African country. Torre says. Anderson.
It's hard. It's hard just to find Alex Jones videos.
You
on
guys,
YouTube.
we are better than Anderson Cooper. We are.
Well,
We are better than him.
I don't know about that.
Dude, look at him. He's CIA.
I am CIA actually. I didn't want to tell you guys, but
No, he literally. Major Prather, Jeffrey Prather from the Prather Point.
this is actually a CIA.
Check out my
channel.
interview with Prather Point, Major Jeffrey Prather, if you'd like. It's on my channel. He
Before-
also said that Cooper was CIA.
Before Epstein died, he paid Addy off a few million. He's CIA too.
Yeah,
This is a psyop.
It's definitely. Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. I don't know how to respond.
Your viewers are gonna unsubscribe to your channel. Yo, any of his viewers subscribe to my channel. I'm not CIA, but Addy is definitely CIA.
No, we're not being serious, guys. We're not CIA.
Does this look like it's CIA? CIA. CIA.
Nice.
CIA wouldn't have kicked the camera.
They wouldn't even be on YouTube. They're not even smart enough.
They're not, or they're probably too smart.
Mockingbird Media.
You don't think the
100%.
CIA has a YouTube channel?
No, I'm totally joking. They do. I've been on it actually. They don't show you how many subscribers they have.
How do we know like the Alex Jones channel wasn't CIA?
Pardon Assange. I agree. Listen, Julian Assange, journalism on trial. The truth hangs in the balance. This week they were evaluating his mental health. The prosecution, but especially the defense, was giving their testimonies as far as the doctors they had inspect Julian Assange. Even the prosecution said that he was mildly depressed, although the prosecution went on to further say that they see no risk of him committing suicide were he to be extradited. Both doctors who looked at Assange for the defense thought that he would be at a high risk, and one even said he was guaranteed to kill himself if he was extradited. If Julian Assange is extradited to the United States, this opens the window, the gate, the opportunity, the precedent for the president and the United States of America to extradite any journalist in the world, anywhere, at any time, for any reason. Open season on journalists today as we know it. We are on the front lines here, people. Addy has Anakin Skywalker, YouTube's chosen one, coming to you live from the Shrimp Castle in Buffalo, New York,
my bedroom.
with ShrimpZoo himself.
FJC says, "Do you think Cooper is CIA?" I think pretty much all conspiracies are really stupid, except aliens. That may be a possibility. There might be UFOs.
Okay, we're gonna work on that.
But no, is Cooper CIA? Anderson Cooper being CIA, I don't know if he's CIA, but he is a Vanderbilt, so
I think he's CIA.
like he could be something.
I really do.
He's a Vanderbilt. He comes from like one of those weird like medieval families that have had like trillions of dollars for like 10 billion years.
Cooper admitted that he was not CIA. Why would the CIA tell you they're CIA? They wouldn't be CIA. They would be some random dudes on the street more.
I don't think he's CIA, but he's like a globalist for sure. He's like whatever conspiracy theorist leader, Skull and Bones, whatever. I'm sure he's in one of those type of things. He's a Vanderbilt.
See, look at this. Carl Jung, he's got the pineal gland going, fall down the rabbit hole, and learned. A story I wanted to bring up. Massachusetts Attorney General is pressing charges against Holyoke Soldiers Home Superintendent Bennett Walsh and Dr. David Clinton, the facility's former medical director. Again, this is a nursing home. It's called Holyoke Soldiers Home.
Hey,
Soldiers Home.
It says here on Wikipedia that he did work for the CIA.
Both are facing felony charges
as an intern
over their decision to combine veterans who were incorrectly identified as asymptomatic.
Carl Jung is probably right, I guess, because I just looked it up and it does say that Anderson Cooper worked for the CIA.
I told you.
So go ahead and Google it. I didn't think it was true, but I Googled it. So
they were identified incorrectly as asymptomatic, but were actually showing symptoms, and others who were actually asymptomatic. They mixed them together, these two men, and the Attorney General of the state of Massachusetts wants to press charges. Since March, in this particular home, 76 veterans have died at the home from COVID. That is tragic. It is one of my life goals to interview a World War II veteran before they all die, and that is just tragic. I agree. I think the charges should be pressed by the Attorney General against these people. It sets the precedent, I think, in some sort of way for Andrew Cuomo, the butcher of New York.
Kelly says we're too young to be CIA.
The
Well,
butcher of New York.
I'm a boomer.
No, you're not. The butcher of New York to be prosecuted.
I'm almost a boomer.
Navajo code talkers.
He's young and I'm old.
I'm actually older than him.
I'm going out with a girl that's 40 years old. So how do you like that?
I've dated a 48-year-old before.
That's gross, because you're 25.
I never told you my age. Will Cuomo, the butcher of New York, be prosecuted as these two individuals were? Since Cuomo enacted these laws, policies, whatever you want to call them, he thinks he's a dictator in training, in my opinion. Also, Donald Trump, the Platinum Plan.
What are you talking about? Donald Trump Platinum Plan?
He, I guess, is coming forth with this Platinum Plan, which includes big investments in Black communities and designating KKK and Antifa as terrorist organizations. 4-year plan includes 3 million new jobs for Black Americans, 500,000 plus new Black-owned businesses, and capital access in excess of $500 million. He's trying to buy the Black vote, is he not? I'm conservative, as you say, even though I'm more like a libertarian, I would say.
Are you reading that, or those are your words?
That is what I read today on the news. Yes, sir, that's what I read today on the news.
Okay, I thought you were saying that.
No, that's what I read today on the news. Platinum Plan, 4-year plan, 3 million new jobs for Blacks, 500,000 plus new Black-owned businesses and capital excess in excess of $500 million plus. This is socialism at its finest.
Charlie asks, is there any riots in our area? Well, there's peaceful demonstrators that act like jerks if you go anywhere near them with a camera. And they've identified us as, like, I don't know, they think that we're both, like, counter protesters, or I don't know what they think, to be honest.
He was the white gentleman in the blue mask.
We honestly just want to do the same thing that they're doing, is just stand on the street, but we want to tape
with
it, put it on YouTube.
Long brown hair.
Shrimp, your chat has got away from you. Get control.
What does that mean?
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain yourself.
Trump is trying to get the Black vote. They are smarter than he thinks, says Drive Secure 24/7. Line up for Bill Gates vaccine. He's a virologist. Hello, useless eaters.
Hospitals get $40,000 for each COVID death. I don't think I believe
Kelly
that.
thinks we're adorable. Miss Herzl thinks we're adorable, so that's good.
Sorry about the caps. You're forgiven.
Thank you, Kelly. Miss Herzl.
We like your dog, possibly.
We've talked before about the NYPD.
Yeah,
communist spy.
The media calls the protesters peaceful, but
CDC Canada glory holes.
I would call them aggressive.
Louisville. We mentioned Louisville earlier. Before we get there, China, though. This is big. Tensions building in the Far East. China has this week fired a volley of rockets over the South China Sea towards the direction of Taiwan, responding to sanctions on Chinese nationals spying on U.S. companies. And they're getting sanctioned and punished for that.
Did you read about North Korea shooting the South Korea government official that was defecting to North Korea, and then they cremated their body at sea? They burned it, and all that was left was a pool of blood. So there's a South Korean government official. He was going to defect to North Korea. The North Korean Navy spotted him on a life raft or something, and they shouted instructions to him. He didn't respond, they're saying, so they shot him up, and then they burned his body due to the COVID-19 protocols in North Korea. They burned his body, and then 2 days later, the North Korean president apologized.
Louisville, Kentucky. That's ridiculous, Shrimp. I did not hear that.
Shout out Charlie. Go live stream from Louisville, and we can put that on the ShrimpZoo channel. We would really appreciate if you could risk your lives for us so we can get some videos on the channel.
A conservative outlet in Louisville called the Daily Caller has threatened to sue police officers there.
Somebody says I'm a Democrat and I love guns. Yeah, Democrats and Republicans can both
The police in general.
like guns.
2 reporters were arrested on Wednesday night.
Where?
Police are refusing, this is Louisville, Kentucky,
Oh.
refusing to release the pair and are charging them with 2 misdemeanors related to breaking curfew / unlawful assembly for their alleged failure to comply with police orders to disperse and for press to relegate themselves to an observation area. That is so long-winded and just seems like they're really reaching on that one. These are constitutional rights being violated every single day in this country. We live in a police state. They are arresting journalists worldwide, torturing them, killing them, dismembering them, putting them in plastic bags, taking them out to a spot on the sea where the current can take it away and it'll float and swim along with Crush and Squirt.
So we got a Republican here, and they don't like guns. And then we got Democrats that do like guns in here. It's interesting. Jill says, if you vote Democrat, Shrimp, you can say goodbye to your beloved guns. I love how the Shrimp viewers know that I have a passion for all types of guns, ranging from Nerf, paintball, pellet, BB. I do enjoy.
I shot his pellet gun.
We shot some pumpkins and stuff.
Yeah, we
did.
shot some pumpkins with the pellet
Well,
gun.
I'm not going to be voting for
Let me sit up so you guys can see me.
I'm not going to be voting for Biden. I'm just politically neutral. I feel like if Yang ran, maybe I'll vote for him, but I'm not super into politics. I just want to live my life without any crazy protests going on. He's voting for Trump, though.
I don't see any choice, man. I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. I just fear. The thing is, look, have to grasp back on. This is what I'm saying. You got to grasp back onto the ledge, pull yourself up, and from there we can reassess. And hopefully in 2024, this is what my hope is. A third party will emerge, the Libertarian Party.
Or like a reformed Green Party or something.
We get 3 or 4 or 5 parties going that are all possibly going to win.
I think that there's going to be Antifa BLM type party that splinters off from the Democrats or is a new party.
Yeah.
I don't think it was going to be so simple that we have Democrats, Republicans, and then we have one party.
It's going to be like in Germany in the 1930s. Hitler took advantage of the fact that the German left was splintered. And even Hitler, with his raised fist and nationalistic salutes, want to get on the Democratic, I think they were Christian Democrats, or the Social Democrats. They wanted to get on their good side.
Ooh, Deborah says, you may not have your gun if you buy pot, one or the other, but not both. In New York, you could have weed and a gun. So you can definitely get a license for that here.
In Wisconsin, only CBD is illegal.
Interesting.
Yep. The age of consent is 18.
Do not condone drug
Alcohol
use.
and tobacco is age 21.
I don't condone marijuana use, drug use.
Yo, the state tax here in New York is crazy.
I'm straight edge.
It's 8% or 8.6%. In Wisconsin, it's only 5.5%. So it's much better.
Don't Don't do
State
drugs,
tax
kids.
in New York is very high.
Don't drink. Don't smoke. How depressing to hear. Whoa, hold on. FJC says, how depressing to hear you guys are voting for Trump. Maybe you like the drama and chaos. Well, first off, he's the Trumper and I'm the Democrat. Joe Biden just sucks to me.
I want to know who you are voting for, FJC. Who is FJC going to vote for?
I mean, and to be honest, as a Democrat, I'm also not a complete idiot. The Democrats are the one causing the chaos. It's not Trump fans.
Whoa, sales tax in Illinois is 10.75%.
The
That
people,
is ridiculous.
the people that are burning and looting and killing people are Democrats. It's not Republicans.
I agree with Russ McComb.
Proud Boys are
Legalize
causing
all drugs.
tiny bit of chaos. They could cause more chaos in the future, but so far, Trump fans really haven't counter protested any BLM or Antifa really to a large scale. It's as a Democrat, it's only Democrats causing chaos. Once in a while, a Republican hits protesters, but it goes the other way too. So it's only Democrats causing the chaos in the streets.
Even though the DHS head Chad Wolf says otherwise. He says the white supremacists are the biggest threat.
Like when I go to these protests, I'm standing behind the black people because the white youth there is going crazy. They're dressed like henchmen or like ninjas. And I'm standing behind the older people there, usually black people, because these white kids are going wild. I feel I'm more worried about Antifa than I am about right wing white supremacists. And I don't like the Confederate flag or racism at all. I can't stand racism. But Antifa to me seems like the bigger issue.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have to look at what's actually going on.
We just played the video of somebody throwing Molotov cocktail at the police. It wasn't a right-wing supremacist doing that, and that's been happening. It's like look, this has been going on for like half a year now. It's not right-wing white supremacists. It's only liberal people on the streets burning and killing and looting. And I'm saying this as
extremists.
I'm saying this as, I guess, a Democrat, I guess, but it's obviously not the Trump fans. I was actually expecting MAGA and Trump fans to rally more, counter protest more. They really haven't, though. So yeah.
In the Buffalo area or nationwide?
Just everywhere, nationwide. Somebody says Confederate flag is about freedom from the feds, not slavery. When they're flying the Confederate flag in New York State, it looks a lot like racism to me.
Should have let the Axis win in World War II. Wow. Why is that, Snow Rabbit? Both Trump and Biden are pedos, says Janet Williams. Shout out to Janet Williams. She's one of my subscribers, actually.
Trump and Biden both have half a dozen or more sexual assault claims against them.
So who?
Trump's your man, then, Shrimp.
You should vote for Joe Jorgensen, then, man.
If it's at the,
you got somebody said they were voting for Joe Jorgensen.
If it's like the end of the world scenario, like apocalypto, like Mad Max scenario, then I'll join the Trumpers, I guess. Because one, Antifa will not even let me join them. They won't even let me stand near them without forming circles of tarps and protest banners around me and throwing water in my face, saying racist slurs to me. And Antifa is supposed to be anti-racist, but they judge me every time based on what they perceive my race to be, and they're actually wrong, 100% wrong. But they judge me based on my race and my political beliefs, and they are wrong about my political beliefs and my race. But I would join Trump supporters at the end of the world because I can't join Antifa. They won't let me stand next to them. The same thing is with BLM. They won't even let me stand near them. Yeah, we joined the Trumpers. Plus, I live in a all Republican town almost, so
Yeah, I've
can't
noticed that.
you
But
can't
your
fly.
neighbors,
You
they
can't-
just took
yeah.
they took back their Joe Biden sign yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah, but I hear people beeping all the time at it. It attracts attention. One of my neighbors has Biden sign. It's
Yeah,
overwhelming.
he took it off his lawn yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I hear people beep. Maybe that's why. But I'm not a Biden fan. I'm not really a Trump fan. But just out of like basic survival needs, if it's end of the world, I live in a Republican town, so I would probably have to.
Yeah, I
side
mean,
with them.
BLM they literally act like Marxists. They act like communists.
Yeah,
And
I would like.
they are trained communists according to the head.
I'd like.
They
there
say
to
it
be,
themselves. Acts like a duck, whacks like a duck, talks and walks like a duck.
Yeah.
You know that saying.
Antifa's not anti-fascist enough. They still have like a ton of fascism in them.
That's true. He has the highest child trafficking arrests, I think, ever. Dwarfs Obama's numbers. I read that. That was God's grace. She just joined us. Antifa are fascist. I mean, you see this almost with any spectrum, right?
Every time we go out there, they identify us as white Trump fans that are racist, and that's not even true. So they kind of are fascists. They're judging us based on our appearance.
So you have a spectrum, right? A spectrum, and on one end is what is this, left and then right, and at the far left and the far right, it's pretty much the same thing. You got communists and you got fascists, and it's basically a small group of people controlling the entire society,
on the spectrum,
every aspect of society.
Antifa is so far to the left that they're battling other Democrats now too.
Yeah, it's true. They're splintered, right? And this is similar to Germany in the 1930s. But you get far left, and this is for any spectrum. Think about like the masculinity, femininity spectrum. You go way left and right, you get people just acting like assholes.
Talk on this, FJC. My ex has members of her family that are in the Klan and Klan supporters, and they're all Bernie Sanders supporters.
Really?
Yeah, they call me an Oriental. They call my kids Oriental.
Oh my God.
They call black people the N-words. Anytime there's a crime, they blame it on black people. They're all Bernie Sanders supporters. That's not true what FJC is saying, because Max's family are Bernie Sanders supporters, and they also are Klan supporters, and have in their family lineage they've owned slaves and stuff.
Yeah, they're the black shirts.
So that's not true. I know firsthand experience Bernie Sanders supporters that are in the Klan or that support the Klan.
But I do think Antifa, like we said, or BLM, they're like black shirts. Like they're the loosely disorganized, or maybe highly disorganized paramilitary arm of the DNC. They're thugs. They're street thugs are BLM and Antifa. They're just kind of different.
I wouldn't call them street thugs.
They're on their way. They are on their way to being street thugs. They're well on their way. Their commanders are white women. Their soldiers are the black guys. And then they have people who just kind of, sit back and kind of, watch the whole thing develop and kind of control it from the sidelines. That's the way I'm kind of seeing it. I have to go
to other city or something and see these other BLM protests.
Yeah, that's the way I see it here in Buffalo, New York.
I don't think it's the leaders are white men, the soldiers are black men. I see it as a mixed group of people. In Buffalo, it's mostly white people.
A mixed group of children.
Buffalo BLM is mostly white people. They're like 15 to 20.
In Japan. Change subjects here. Prime Minister Suga vows that the 2021 Olympics will go on. Yoshihide Suga wants to prove that the coronavirus has been defeated by having the 2021 Olympics, it should have been 2020 Olympics, go on. And that is Abe, Shinzo Abe's replacement. Also out east, Huawei Research Laboratory erupted in flames in Dongguan, China. It was a place where they tested antennas for 4G and 5G for Huawei. 0 casualties. They were able to put the fire out. Thank God that's over. Let's not ask any more questions.
Why are you looking at me? I'm reading these comments here. Jenny says both parties are both corrupt. Yeah, that's pretty much what I think, but he thinks that Trump is better.
Why is a Huawei facility erupting in flames? Because they're testing 5G. There's your answer. Stop voting for the bird. Both parties are wings of the same corrupt, cheating bird. Maybe I should just bypass Trump altogether, skip ahead to 2024, and vote Libertarian. That's not the way I see this, people. Okay? We need to have Trump. I think if we want to break free of the third-party system, of the two-party system, we have to vote for Trump. Because we have to be patient. We have to be methodical.
Did you see Ron Paul had a stroke?
I did see that. By the way, I was talking to Charlie Robinson earlier today.
Deborah says he's doing
Charlie is going to be a podcast guest on the Pandemic Podcast, The Great Awakening Show. Please check out our chat with Charlie when that happens. The reason I'm bringing up is because ShrimpZoo just mentioned Ron Paul had some health problems. Ron Paul is writing the foreword for Charlie's next book, which Charlie is going to release very soon. I'll be reading that as well. And we're, like I said, we're talking to Charlie very soon. Be on the lookout for that. Since you mentioned Ron Paul.
Yeah, I like him. Hopefully he recovers. Like him and his son.
I like them both too. I think they're good guys. They seem to me to be patriots.
That's how I look. I hold Ron Paul in like much higher esteem than I do Biden, like way more.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But like, I wouldn't vote for Ron Paul to be president.
Yeah.
So I don't know how people that love Biden, like in his prime or something, how they can. I love Ron Paul, but I'm not going to vote for him now. He just had a stroke. He's not fit to be president. That's the same thing is true for Biden. That's why.
That's the dad though, right? Rand is the son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe his son then, and his dad could be his advisor.
His son like exposed Ted Cruz and a bunch of other people to COVID because he had it, and he went like swimming in the spa and stuff with them when he still had it.
Damn.
I didn't like that about him.
That was really dumb. That was a blunder.
Yeah. I don't know, but I like his dad better, but
Jeffrey Epstein.
And Epstein.
Jeff Epstein. Notorious. Infamous. For raping children.
Well, did he rape children, Epstein? Or did he just have them raped?
Extortion. Blackmail. The biggest blackmail operation the world has ever seen. The dark side's Jay Gatsby. The talented Mr. Epstein. Tom Ripley-esque. I just did a book review of Sean Atwood's book, Clinton Bush CIA Conspiracies, from the boys on the track to Jeffrey Epstein. I bought and read this book earlier this year. I have just only now got around to reviewing it. Great book. It talks about the boys that were Arkancided in Arkansas. And Jeffrey Epstein is, I think, this penultimate chapter. So that is the second last chapter. And this book I read out of order. Great book. Sean Atwood, one of my favorite nonfiction writers. He's probably my favorite true crime writer, at least right now. I would say he's still my favorite true crime writer. Since I found him, I just love his books. Really love it. Jeff Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell is still in jail, as far as we know. We're gonna go visit a jail too as well pretty soon here.
So she hangs herself.
Yeah, and if we go to New York City, we'll probably try to go to her jail too. That idea just came to me now, live on air. This is the Pandemic Podcast,
Is that where she is?
The
New York?
Great Awakening.
New York
I
City
think she's
jail?
in Lower Manhattan. But yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, his lieutenants are now getting some more heat. And by his lieutenants, I mean Ghislaine Maxwell's lieutenants and captains, her ladies that were under her, the lovely and beautiful ladies who committed very dastardly deeds in the name of money and power by trafficking children to the rich, the powerful, the politically connected. They are now, what seems to me, be getting more attention. Maxwell's lieutenants and captains, and I think that's a good thing. Will we go sideways or up with it? Will we go to Les Wexner, Jean-Luc Brunel? One can only hope. The media has yet to mention the intelligence connection between Epstein, who is obviously Mossad. He was as Mossad as Shrimp is Shrimp. Dude, he's as Mossad as you are ShrimpZoo, dude. 100% Mossad, 100% CIA complicit, 100% FBI and complicit. You heard it. Well, you probably didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it.
You know, you did. You definitely didn't.
Did not hear it.
You definitely didn't hear it here first.
I don't think that's true though. I just think he was a weird like Hollywood creep that like sold children to like rich celebrities and like leaders. That's what I think.
Zoom mishaps.
What do you guys?
Well, should we go over the comments?
I'm sure all your viewers are going to agree with you.
No, they're not. Deutsche Bank documents show $3 million to Ukrainian women spies. Trump said Epstein like I'm young. This is true. From Jeffrey Epstein. I guess that's...
The only thing about Epstein I find interesting is like who killed him.
Dershowitz, another one of these dastardly group.
Who do you think killed him? Trump? Trump had him killed?
Deborah Johnson. You won't find a man with more integrity than George Webb. George and I and Shrimp will be chatting soon. Hopefully this week we're going to be talking everything that's been going on. What did you say, Shrimp? You said...
I forgot because I'm texting this girl here while we're saying.
You can say people lie. What we were saying is what comes out of his own mouth. He looked at the family call and a doomsday intelligence.
All right, I'm back on track.
That is what I heard as well. I actually heard that from one of my sources. Who, I don't know if he wants to be named or not. I heard he was recruited as like a gifted child.
Well, that's not good though. What, you think it is?
I don't think it's a good thing if that's true. I'm sure those things probably exist. I guess I've never really thought about running Biden as eligible abuse. I agree with that. Everything is show. It's all illusion. Everything is perception. Nothing is reality. Everything
this show
is
illusion. I want to give a shout out to the CIA for giving us $10 million to do the show.
They literally gave none of that to us, and they gave all of it to Israel. So Shrimp is lying on that one. 4 years of Biden, then we get him out and get someone more stable than Trump. That is, look, if you think Joe Biden is more stable than Donald Trump, you may need to be checked for your stability. Trump is 2 years behind Biden, you know. Yeah, but there's a difference between chronological years and actual biological age.
Yeah. It's so, like...
For example, I'm 175 years old by just being...
Biden's not mentally there anymore. Trump, you can tell Trump is still super sharp mentally. I've made a bunch of videos that make fun of Trump that showed how he was in Playboy videos, that shows that he was hitting on married women, having affairs, cheating on his wife, having married women cheat on their husbands with him, like talking about women inappropriately. I've made a bunch of bad videos on Trump, but he is way more mentally like healthy than Joe Biden. Joe Biden has extreme mental decline. Trump doesn't. Trump is still with it.
I agree.
And
And this
I
is
made-
coming from a libtard. His name is ShrimpZoo.
And I made a ton of anti-Trump videos, but
He's not a libtard. I'm just joking.
Trump is mentally there. Joe Biden isn't. I could see that. A
Yeah.
lot of people pretend that's not true, but it just is.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I don't know how you like Jedi mind trick yourself or oneself into voting for Joe Biden and convincing yourself that he is with it, or excuse me, at least as with it as he was when he was younger.
Like Carl Young's Biden hides in his basement and Trump eats COVID for breakfast.
It's kind of funny.
Maybe he
Biden's
doesn't wear
wife
he doesn't wear a mask. So
Oh
maybe-
my God! Biden's
What?
wife was married to another man when they met. Gasp.
Is that true? Go look it up because we're not. I know neither of us are sure about that.
Deborah Johnson says Trump is the Rock. Oh, whoops! I just did that again.
I don't know.
I'm a libtard, says FJC. I'm a libtard, says ShrimpZoo. Clinton's had him
Anyway.
killed. Joe won his first seat in the Senate right after his wife and daughter died.
I'd like liberal and conservatives to watch the channel.
Yeah, we like both sides. We're probably gonna get. We probably already are gotten blacklisted, censored for talking about something that isn't only communistic in nature, but that's okay.
Dang! Look at Drive Secure 247 says.
I hope Trump leaves with White House in a body bag. Oh,
See, even if you don't like Trump, like you really can't be saying that because what if there's a civil war if he dies? What if there any sitting president that dies, that you're not really going to want that because there's going to be chaos that follows potentially, especially right now.
Pelosi waiting in the wings,
yeah, definitely.
dude. Trump or Biden will die. Pelosi will take the reign. A reign of terror.
I kind of wonder why Pelosi hasn't ran.
It'll be Gestapo-like. It will be SS-like, SA-like, Schutzstaffel-like, Death Squad-like.
I'm not a fan of Pelosi's.
It will be... That's a terrible thing to say about another human being. Pelosi in the wings. Nancy Skeletor Pelosi.
Oh, that's mean. Carl Young, dude, you're super hating on Pelosi out there.
Trump was married when he met his two.
Oh yeah, you can't really. Yeah, Trump has like a horrible marriage. Like
He's got
record.
what, 3 wives or 4 wives, something like that. But just thanks for tuning in, folks. This is the Great Awakening. This is the Pandemic Podcast. Oh yeah, Zoom mishaps. Little fun stuff here, people. Argentinian MP resigns after sucking a woman's breast during an online congressional session live on Zoom.
Why are you talking about that? Where'd you get that story from? That's gross.
RT gave me that story, is verified. I also wanted to add a little bit more to the Zoom mishap section of the show we got here tonight. Thanks for joining us tonight, folks, here on this lovely Saturday night. We're on the East Coast. We're live from the Shrimp Castle here in Buffalo, New York, in the Southern District Court.
Shout out FJC.
Courthouse here in Buffalo, New York. Where was I? Oh, yes. In August, a Filipino politician was caught having sex with his secretary in the village of Fatima Dos. Once again, it was live via a Zoom meeting. Zoom. Trolling the hardest. Also in the news, Sex Doll Genie is a company that makes, you guessed it, sex dolls. They are doing so well in business right now. They're hiring new staff in the United States and the United Kingdom as a result of increased demand. May have dolls that mimic breathing and heartbeats by the end of the year.
This is gross news. Both of Trump's former wives got everything they wanted. Deborah's hardcore a mega fan here.
This has been the Pandemic Podcast, Great Awakening weekly update on Saturday. Action-packed week. Department of Justice, FBI memos revealing the source of the Steele dossier to be a Russian agent. So the DNC was right. Russians were involved. They were involved in making the Steele dossier. I'm sure Putin is laughing his butt off at that. We didn't even talk about the fires.
They'll be around for 2 more months, so we'll have time.
I mean, we'll have lots of fires coming, people. Lots of fire being dropped by ShrimpZoo and Addy ads. Via the store, we got a store. We're selling masks, t-shirts, sweatshirts, stickers, mugs. You can even buy an Addy ads mask on the ShrimpZoo store. We're doing a collaboration. If people want to check that out, please do. We are we're independent media creators, independent content creators, and we want people to have a good experience in terms of substance and style when they listen to Addy ads and ShrimpZoo. So if people want to support us by getting a mask on the store, or if you're an anti-masker, if you're an anti-vaxxer,
then buy a hoodie or a t-shirt.
Buy a hoodie or a t-shirt or a sticker or a mug. You know, how many people drink coffee every day in the world? It's in the millions. And
is that an official fact?
That's official, people. Give us a follow on Twitter, on Instagram. I just got an Instagram going for ShrimpZoo at Facebook. Sub and like as well right here.
It's up to me. I'm a boomer. I can barely use Facebook or Instagram.
Please, people. I hope you enjoyed the
Go
show
over to
tonight.
my Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I definitely need more subs on that.
And one last plug. If you guys want to help us out via the Patreon, we'd really appreciate that.
Patreon.com/ShrimpZoo.
Patreon.com/AddyAds, ADDYADDS. YouTube.com/AddyAds, ADDYADDS. YouTube.com/ShrimpZoo, ZOO. Instagram.com/AddyAds, ADDYADDS. Twitter.com/1AddyAds, one spelled out, ONEADDYADDS. Facebook.com/1AddyAds, one spelled out, ONEADDYADDS. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Venus Latte, one of my subscribers and one of my Patreons as well. Big shout out to Venus for being a huge supporter of me.
Is she?
And I want to give a shout out to Kay as well. From Cali. Okay, my phone is not working. That is what's going on. And that's ShrimpZoo's fault.
That's not. Don't bring that over here.
And what else? Am I missing any plugs? Yes, brand new tube. BNT ShrimpZoo just got on the brand new tube. So go and give him a subscription. brandnewtube.com/@ ShrimpZoo, ZOO, and my channel as well. I just passed 1,000 subscribers on brand new tube. Nice. I am a Rhodium account over there. Rhodium channel, exclusive, dedicated, and promoted content, supported and promoted by the creators of brand new tube out of the United Kingdom, a censorship-free, pro-First Amendment, pro-free speech, pro-Bill of Rights video platform, unlike YouTube. But YouTube is where all the traffic is. Despite that, I'm growing much faster on BNT than I am on YouTube, which is a good thing and a bad thing for the fact I just said. So please go and give us support on BNT. We need to democratize the video platforms. It has been monopolized by, you guessed it, you know who it is. I don't even need to say it. That being said, we're thankful to be hosted by this website, and we love the fact that we still have the ability to post videos on it. I've been demonetized officially. Shrimp has not, but he still needs to he needs to like every time he posts a video, there's like a waiting period until it gets monetized. So by that time that it's actually monetized, most people have already watched the video, which is totally fine. You can watch it when you want. What's not fine is that little trick they're playing. So people go and give us support that way too if you want. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm missing anything. Thanks for listening, guys. Saturday night live on the East Coast from the Shrimp Castle.
Shout out Queen City Antifa. We'll see you out there in the streets.
Stay frosty, folks, and until next time.